Hello and welcome to today's presentation of Create Your Story. My name is Daniella and I'm the founder and CEO of Create Your Story. And I am talking today about how you can make your destination wedding happen. Even during a pandemic, we're talking about how to make it enjoyable, how to make it happen, and how to celebrate memorable. So I hope you're all ready. You have your notebooks there. You're going to take lots of notes, you get inspired, and you get at least an idea how to get started on your wedding planning and how to master it for yourself so that you can actually enjoy the planning journey, but also know when to do what and how to go forward with your planning so that you can look forward to your wedding day with a lot of joy. So let's dive right into it. I'm gonna share my screen now. 1 second for that. And you should see my presentation now. So as I mentioned, we're talking about how to master your destination wedding planning today. Create Your Story was founded in the beginning of 2020 after I came from Europe to Asia, and I wanted to bring my passion to the Asian market to realize unique and exclusive event concepts. My background is in exclusive events, and I did that almost all my life. So I definitely know a lot of different event concepts and now also about weddings. Create Your Story is all about your planning journey to be super enjoyable and to be, as one of my most important credos, the guest at your own wedding. So for me, it's very important that whatever or wherever you plan your dream wedding, that you can enjoy the planning journey, but most importantly, be the guest at your wedding day itself and enjoy it with family and friends. So when I brought my passion over to Asia, I was already over 15 years in the market and did lots of exclusive events for high net worth clients. And I did that all over the world, mostly in Switzerland, where my origin is, and as well in Europe. And then also came over to the Asian market to create wonderful memories and experiences. So this session today is for you if you want to plan your destination wedding. If you're not planning a destination wedding, you can still get inspired and get your notes out and ready, because I have lots to share with you also for your general wedding planning. But obviously, as we're talking about destination weddings, I also want to dive more into the details and nitty-gritty things that you need to think about when you plan at your dream location. So this is for you when you want to enjoy your wedding planning. You don't want to be stressed out or worried about all the things that are coming. You want to know how to get actually started with your planning, evaluate what is important for you, like what steps and what details are important for you. You want to find the right vendors and be prepared for the discussions with them. You want to feel backed with your decisions to actually take them and be brave. And most importantly, you want to look forward to your wedding day with a lot of joy and freshness. So in the end of today's session, you will know how to create your own wedding vision. We're talking about a lot how to get ideas together to actually know what dream location for what wedding idea is perfect and things like that. You know how to make your planning enjoyable, how to make it actually happen, that you can celebrate your wedding like you have it in mind, and how to celebrate your wedding memorable. And most importantly, I mentioned it already, and I probably will mention it a lot over this half an hour that you're spending with me. You need to enjoy your wedding planning journey, not only the day itself, because it's a once in a lifetime experience, a once in a lifetime season for you. And I want you to go all in and enjoy it. What is holding you back? So I have seen it, and I don't want to see you lost in the jungle of options, because in the beginning, everything is super exciting, obviously. Talking about your dream location, the last travel you've probably been there, or when you spend some days in this dream location, everything sounds exciting. But then there are lots of options, and it can be easy to get lost. How to set a realistic budget for that wedding in your dream location. Not having clear priorities is a really bad mistake when it comes to setting your realistic budget. So you want to talk about your priorities in the beginning to have an idea where to allocate your money. You also want to research and find the right vendors, not only to find the people that are working in your dream team to realize your wedding, but also to have an idea what the price ranges are in your dream wedding location. You also don't want to feel the nightmare of being alone with all your decisions, because it can be really draining with a lot of different things to decide on. And what happens a lot when you have a lot of decisions to take, you start procrastinating. And especially when you plan for a destination wedding, you need to take the decisions early on in your process so you're not getting lost. Because when you procrastinate, I can guarantee you, you get loss of control, and you will feel that pressure and the stress that is coming up. So that's the one thing that I definitely don't want to have for you. I want you to have a really joyful planning journey, the confidence of creating your personal wedding vision. So it's really your vibe, the atmosphere you want to create for the wedding day. Evaluate what are the right options for you. What is probably not the most important, and where do you really, really want to invest some money? Also knowing what steps to do when, because that's something, not everything needs to be done in the beginning. You can know when what is important. Getting expert insights and support. So the best start you can do right now is being here with me for that presentation, because you get the first expert insights. But also along the way, don't be shy. Ask for support and get these insights that will help you to save lots and lots of time, but also money. Get connection, get support and feedback on your ideas. What is really possible, what not? When it comes to destination weddings, there are a few facts that are super important. I want to talk with you about giving yourself a realistic timeline. So when it comes to planning a wedding, the timelines got shorter and shorter over the last month and years. Because yes, COVID had an influence, because people are not traveling a lot, you can be spontaneous, your guest list was probably smaller. But what is important when you plan for a destination wedding where traveling is involved and you want to have your guests with you, the closest circle of your family and friends, give them enough time and give yourself enough time to actually realize what you have in mind. Research for local prices, one of the most important things. It doesn't have to be more expensive than in Singapore or wherever you are at home. It can be even cheaper. So go for it, do some research on local prices and get an idea what the ranges are in your dream location. You also need to be prepared that you expect a smaller guest list. Not everyone is able or willing to travel to your location. So you cannot expect 150 guests that you would have in your hometown. You probably count for a smaller guest list. Then you also want to plan for supporting and guiding your guests, because you know the location. You probably have been there for several times, but you want to give them some help to plan their travels there, to really enjoy the stay with you in your dream location. And your planning needs to be very detail oriented, even more than for a normal wedding, because you need to be on top of it. You really want to know what the vendors are doing on site. You want to get the briefings up and ready so you really get the wedding celebrations of your dreams wherever you're planning it. Not only for the wedding day itself, but also for the journey itself. Why I am here and telling you all this, and why do I have all these ideas that I share with you today, or the knowledge better. My experience, I mentioned it before, is in exclusive events. I planned over 100 of these for high net worth clients, for banks, insurances, credit cards, also weddings and conferences and fairs all over the world. Since more than 15 years, I'm in the event industry and I worked and traveled in over 65 countries in 5 continents over the world. And I'm also speaking 6 languages, but that is not so much about the knowledge or the expert insights that I can share. But if you're planning in your location, I probably can help you with the communication with the vendors on site. So after planning so many exclusive events for all my lovely clients and for all my couples on the weddings, I was ready to plan my own once in a lifetime experience. And this is only a little insight in my travels that I did before Create Your Story was created. I actually created my own story. I traveled around the world. We did, I think, 25 plus countries in almost 2 years. And that's also why I can talk about destinations, how to plan a travel, because that travel was well planned. And for me, one of the most important things when you plan a travel or a destination wedding, obviously, you get the most, absolutely most out of it when you have a very detail-oriented plan. That's how I got to all these amazing, super, super memorable experiences around the world, because it was planned and it was really well orchestrated. And why am I doing wedding planning now? So before I founded Create Your Story, I was searching for my purpose. I was looking for what my passion really is. And as you probably already heard before, research and planning is my absolute go-to leisure activity. I love researching for the right places, for the right prices, for value for money experiences, for money can't buy experiences that you need to organize in a very typical way or very unique way. I love client consulting, working with my couples and learning from them and sharing it with other couples and connecting couples with each other. Love it. So, so inspiring, very, very good to get new ideas and new insights and always thinking outside of the box to find new solutions. Then I love fine food and wine. During our travels, I was in over 65 wine regions in the world. 25 wine regions and 65 vineyards, because I love wine, and to consult you on the best wine selection or the best wine or champagne that is available in your dream location. Maybe you even want to plan on a vineyard somewhere in the world. I would absolutely love supporting you on that. I also love photography and videography, the right light, the right time for the perfect shot. Super, super passionate about it. Another part is fashion consulting. Obviously, when it comes to your special wedding gown, the perfect dress, I love fashion. And a fun fact on the side, this is my shoe rack in Switzerland. Actually, I haven't brought it over to Singapore yet. But you can see I love shoes, and I would love to consult you as well on the best gown for your location, because obviously that also matters. Flowers and decoration is another part, mix and matching the right colors with the right flower types for the right theme or for the right location. Very, very excited to do that. And as mentioned before, unique event concepts where money can't buy or value for money is a really important topic for me to really create these exciting moments that are unforgettable. So I'm wondering, where are you standing right now? When you are in the beginning, like freshly engaged and starting off for your wedding planning, wherever in the world that is, you are at exactly the right and exactly the same point as me, because I share a little personal insight with you. My partner also got the idea to get engaged. He was really lovely. He asked me this one question. Congrats to all of you on the call, because I'm sure you are exactly at that point. And we are planning our own wedding. And I give you another little secret. We were thinking of having our wedding in Singapore, obviously, especially during the last 2 years, as I know you're all waiting to get started with the destination wedding. We are also not sure, should we wait, should we do it in Singapore, but with a guest list from around the world, maybe you can relate to that. You have friends all over the planet. Some countries still not really opening to the world. We also want to plan for a destination wedding. And please contact me if you want to know where or where I have more insights. I would love to hear from your ideas as well. We are diving into the first main topic of today's presentation. It's creating a vision for your wedding. Do you have a theme in mind? Because when you have a special theme in mind, that should match the location you have in mind. Or maybe because you have a theme in mind, you're thinking of a specific location. Or the other way around, because your dream location is a beach, you probably go for a maritime look and feel. So think of what is matching with your location that you have in mind, or with the theme and the vibe you want to create for your wedding day. Is it more on the rustic countryside? Maybe then it's a vineyard or a farm or a barn. If it's a beach wedding, obviously you want to think of a beach location. If it's more on the whimsical, dreamy side, maybe a castle wedding, then Europe has a lot of perfect destinations for your dream wedding. I want to share one example that we made happen. So Daniella and Jay, they are a Swiss couple. They love the mountains. Actually, they're almost always in the mountains, either skiing or hiking. So they definitely love it. But the big dream for the wedding was a beach wedding. So if you have a bit of an idea of Switzerland, we do not have any beaches. We have lakes, yes, very nice lake estates as well, but no beach, no ocean. So we definitely had to come up with a unique location, another place in the world. And we were creating this vision board for them with the colors they loved. Obviously, there was sunset involved. They wanted to have the ceremony during the sunset and then a beach celebration with their guests. So we found the location and the surrounding planning that was perfectly matching their vision. As you hopefully can see, you can realize a vision into your actual wedding day. As you can see here, it was a sunset celebration. Everyone came together and they were at this beautiful beach in Mallorca in Spain. So how you can create a wedding vision? In the beginning, you start with researching for your inspiration. Pinterest is a really good starting point to find ideas. You can create your own board, select pictures that you love, save them. And the brides that I work with, they normally share whole Pinterest boards with me to get me on their idea, so that I have an insight what they're really looking for. Instagram is also a really good point to get inspired. It has a lot of very elaborate weddings obviously posted, but you can get inspired and maybe there is something exactly like you have in mind there. And then you can save the pictures and you know where to go for. Then friends and family are a good idea, especially when you plan for a destination. You want to discuss it with them because your closest circle is probably the most important to be on site for you. And you want to discuss the travel plans with them so they're really ready to be there with you. Vendors are also a good thing. They don't only sell you something, they are super good for tips as well. Obviously, the experts in the industry or the experts in your location, they can tell you what is realistic and what you can actually do there and what is possible. You can also connect with a community of brides of your country or the place you want to get married. So maybe they have local insights that you can learn from. Why creating a mood board? This is one of the most important questions for me because in the beginning, it sounds like, yeah, a bit of creative work, but actually I have it pretty good in mind. Yes, you have it in mind, but you also want to communicate and make it super clear what you have in mind. So a mood board helps you to gather all your ideas in one place. Gives you an overview and an overall look of the wedding you have in mind. What vibe, what atmosphere, what colors should be involved there, and what theme is crystallizing out of it. So what should it actually be and feel like to be on your wedding? You can also set your priorities with these, because in these pictures that you bring together on a mood board, you see exactly what is important for you. So when you create a mood board, you have a perfect briefing ready for your vendors, and you minimize misunderstandings in the communication, especially when you're not in the same language, when you have language barriers, when you come from different cultures. So maybe you're from the Asian culture and you want to celebrate in Europe, they maybe have a complete different understanding of what is normal for a wedding, and you want to give them a very specific briefing, what is important for you, your family, your friends on the wedding day itself, so that you can actually realize your vision and celebrate your love story like you have it in mind. This is another example for this couple. We organized a wedding in the southern part of Switzerland. His family is from Italy and her family is from the German part of Switzerland. And they wanted to bring the family together in one place where both families didn't have to travel that much, but obviously as they're from different parts, they both needed to travel. And they also were really keen on having like an outdoor ceremony, but as it is in Switzerland, like it is in Singapore as well, not as perfect for the weather forecast. And you always need to calculate for rain. They also wanted to have a nice indoor place to have their dinner reception. So we found this island, which is super beautiful in the southern part of Switzerland, where they speak Italian, and created for them what they had in mind. And I hopefully you see that here in some real pictures, a lake estate wedding in Ticino, where they could celebrate outdoors with this lovely setting, as you can see it in the top middle. And then also you can see the back here, an estate house where the indoor reception was taking place. The next big topic I want to talk about today is make it enjoyable. Make it enjoyable means you want to plan your timeline. A wedding has over 150 smaller and bigger decisions. And I can tell you with a destination wedding, that is definitely not smaller, but you have rather more decisions to take. So I recommend you to have at least 12 months timeline before your wedding day. For a destination wedding, I would rather say even 1.5 years is perfect to start from, because then you can really get what you want. The earlier you start planning, the more detail-oriented your planning is, the better you can realize your dream wedding in your dream location. Minimum of 50% of the task needs to be done 3 months before your wedding, because I've seen it before. When you procrastinate and when you start planning things only in the last 3 months of your wedding planning journey, then you either pay more because you're late, or you have to get vendors on board that are not exactly what you wanted because the others are probably already booked. So definitely go ahead and start your planning timeline early on to get it actually realized. Make use of expert insights and knowledge. What you do today already is a really good start. So for a destination wedding, you want to get more insights from local experts, from people that have been there. For example, I showed you before in how many countries I already lived or worked or traveled. That's a very good starting point to get some insights how this country is really working, how it is to work with vendors on site, maybe get someone to help you with the language barriers. Things like that are important to consider. Also include your wedding entourage and build trust and start delegating. Delegate to experts or to very close friends like your bridesmaids or your groomsmen, so they know exactly what is happening on your wedding day itself or the surrounding program. Another thing to make it enjoyable is calculating your budget realistic. This number is not specific on destination wedding, but overall couples that are not having a realistic budget from the beginning, say like 45% are spending over budget in the end. So they probably had a number in mind. That's why they say over budget, but they were not allocating the money correctly and then going accordingly to it. So they were spending over what they had in mind. Especially when it comes to your dream wedding location, you want to research some local prices. Because as I mentioned before, in your dream location, probably not all the prices are the same as you have it in mind from your hometown or your home country. Imagine flowers are not same availability as you know it from here. So you probably want to check if your dream flower selection or whatever you have in mind, wine, for example, countries that are not very famous for wine, they probably do not have the best prices for that. So just consider what is common in this dream location that you have in mind, and then research some prices or availabilities for the most important things for you. Allocate to your priorities. That's exactly what I mean with that. So you have priorities. Maybe you have a party circle or party guest list that you really want to have something that is fun going on with drinks and things. So you want to have an idea if that's possible in your dream location and what does it cost for you. Also, something that I want to mention here that you normally don't see is be careful with packages. Most of the venues do have packages similar to the ones in Singapore that are having lots of inclusions that you probably don't need, or you pay for something that you don't want. So be careful what you sign before you sign with a venue, and maybe also negotiate what you really need and what not. Also decide on the travel costs. Some couples decide that maybe the parents are getting the travel costs paid, or you pay for the wedding night in the hotel you're celebrating your wedding. If your guests are staying with you, for example, in a finca in Spain or in a villa somewhere in the world, then you want to think how you split the costs and what are you actually calculating into your budget, or where you're going to have friends and family paying for. So that's what I mean when I say, where are you all staying? Maybe you want to consider if surrounding your wedding location are hotels available in different price ranges, because not everyone is willing or able to pay a lot for their wedding rooms surrounding your wedding day celebration. So either you decide to pay for your guests, obviously, when that is something that you have in mind and that is the most important for you, if they cannot afford or don't want to afford it, or you want to definitely communicate very clearly with your guests what it means to join you on your wedding day in this dream location. So you want to give them options, maybe options of what they can calculate for or what is actually possible around. And one really important fact that you want to think about is it can be cheaper, especially when you compare it to prices in Singapore. So it doesn't need to mean that when you're planning for the destination wedding that it has to be more expensive. Think of smaller guest list, think of lower price ranges and lower costs for food and beverage. Things like that can make it even cheaper, but it needs to be planned well. So make it happen, even during a pandemic. Yes, I mean it. Start planning. It's possible. With the VTLs, the vaccinated travel lanes, borders are actually opening. Sooner or later, more and more countries are coming into this VTL regimen. So you have the possibility to go out and plan in your dream location. Most of your guests will be fully vaccinated, so they are able to travel on the vaccinated travel lanes. You need to consider that you probably need to have a visa for a destination that you have in mind. But when you look at VTLs, which are possible for all vaccinated guests on your list, which is probably I mean, when you see the 90 plus something percentage that is vaccinated, almost everyone on your guest list. And one important fact I also want to share with you is virtual planning is real. I do it a lot. I consult couples from afar. I wasn't able to travel to Switzerland over the last 2 years, but I had still couples there realizing their dream wedding, and I was consulting them virtual on Zoom calls together with the vendors. So when you're not able to travel a lot during this time, you also only want to travel for your wedding day itself, it is possible to plan virtual in your dream location. This couple, for example, we made it happen during the pandemic, and you see how happy they are that they finally went through with their wedding idea, that they finally celebrated, even though they're both not from Singapore and they have a guest list in the world. They were still going forward and celebrating with their family and friends, whoever was able to join. Another example is this lovely couple. I help them to plan their wedding in Switzerland. They also have friends from different countries that were able to join them. Well, whilst I was not even able to go there last summer, but I was always there on the whole journey, and I helped them to get everything ready and talking to the vendors and getting a day up and running that they really, really loved in the end. So I want you to make it happen. Take your decisions. So it's important to think about a few different ideas when it comes to your decisions. Is it a legal or a symbolic wedding? When it is a legal wedding in your dream location, you need to think about the legal requirements. Is it possible, and is it also legal then in your home country, in Singapore? Do you have the location budget match? Is it really the budget you have for the dream location, or do you need to think a bit further? Then also destination specific requirements. Is it possible to travel there for your guest list, for you? Do you need visas? Do you need a timeline beforehand to apply for it? What is possible? You want to have the guest travel plans and information up and running, because it's important to give them information about it. And you want to discuss your itinerary ideas with experts, so to get support, what is happening on your wedding day, but also what could be your surrounding program. When it comes to guiding and supporting your guests, you want to create a task list for them, and maybe build a website where all the information is online, so they have an idea what hotels are available, what flights are available, what requirements for the locations are important, and only then send out the invitations for them. And so they have a link on invitations, for example, where they get more and more important information, and also insights when you have some updates on anything. So make it memorable. We are coming to the last topic. Make it memorable means plan your itinerary. Research or plan for typical experiences in your location. Make it a travel. Include your guest list to combine the festivities with travel experiences, with typical local experiences. Your guests are keen to learn from you, because you are the one who choose the location. You are the one who have lots of insights on it and can guide them around. Make it unique and unforgettable. Your guests, when you're planning for a destination wedding, I'm sure they're super happy to travel again, especially in these times. So everyone is keen to join you, and you make it really, really memorable for them. But you need to plan it down to the nitty-gritty. You really want to get the details right, so you can all enjoy it perfectly. And what happens when you're not in your normal surrounding, when you're not in your comfort zone, then you need to plan for unseeable. Be flexible, be creative, and just relax and find a new solution when something goes wrong. I want to give you a bit of more personal insight here. So if you want to see where I traveled to during the 2 years, you can go to alongway.ch. It's either our website or on Instagram. And you can scroll through the locations, and maybe your dream location is on it and you see that I can help you best with getting some insights. Also, make it memorable is enjoy your big day. So when it comes towards your wedding day and you have done most of your tasks, you want to have itinerary details ready. I mentioned it before. You definitely want to have the nitty-gritty of your travels ready, and get the day of schedule ready early on. Not only the day of schedule, but also the surrounding planning, the surrounding experiences or tours. Plan your ceremony. So maybe you want to have a ceremony anyway, even if it's symbolic. You want to plan for personal vows, write them early on, because in the end, you need to pack your luggage, you are traveling, and you definitely want to be ready with the details that you can prepare beforehand. Delegate to experts. That's the thing that I wanted to tell you, like with a lot of details that I shared as well. Delegate to experts on site so that you can enjoy, really enjoy your wedding already when your travel's starting. Enjoy. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So I want you to be the guest at your wedding. I want you to enjoy the wedding planning journey, to enjoy the research, the planning, get insights. And that's exactly what I'm here for. I have seen it, how it is, the nightmare without a planner, when you procrastinate, when you get lost in the unforeseeable, when you get lost in the jungle of options. So I definitely want to help you support your ideas, your wish, your vision, because it's your wedding, but I'm here for you to support you with mindfulness, with purposeful creativity, with thoughts outside of the box, solutions that are like for every challenge good. I give you worldwide insights and expert knowledge wherever it comes to events and venues and travel plans and tours you can plan for. And I will hold your hand, sorry. I give you lots of compassion and joy, because that's my main passion. I love traveling, I love planning, and I love weddings. So when it comes to our services, we have personal consulting. It's always individual. It's about your idea and realizing it. We coordinate your timeline. So we help to plan all your necessary tasks and taking decisions along the way. So we guide you through the process to save not only time, but especially also money, because you have an idea what price ranges are reasonable or what are valuable recommendations locally in your wedding location. Then we also support you in like the whole event styling, getting the mood board ready, creating this idea board in the beginning so that you are ready for the vendor handling, taking over some coordinations for you, help you with briefings, preparing discussions, negotiations. This is really the path to success, to plan your dream wedding without the worry and the hassle, without you being lost when it comes to venue, catering, finding the vendors, all the different things that are matching the theme that you have in mind. And then obviously also being there for you so that you can be the guest at your own wedding. I'm very happy that you've been here with me today. Super, super excited for your planning. And I really hope you got lots of insights today. And if you have any questions, you can always come to the booth and ask them in the chat, or scan this QR code and come directly to my WhatsApp. Get in touch, and you can also book a private consulting call with me. I'm super, super happy to listen to your ideas, your vision that you have for the wedding, and especially where you want to plan it. So I wish you the very best for your wedding planning, and I really hope to see you soon or talk to you soon. Bye-bye.